It is now 5:32 on February 10th. If you can please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, first we have a joint meeting with the library trustees to appoint an unexpired term for a vacant trustee member. Oh. So do we have, let's do this first. We will start off with Rosemary Rosen. Did I say that right? Is Rosemary Rosen here? Rosen?
No.
Okay.
So the three that were interested are not all interested anymore?
We had it down to one.
Oh.
No, that's not how it goes.
So it has.
No, we interview and then the whole board votes. Everybody has to vote. Actually, I had told that and Jen too several times.
Well, no, we do have a forum to vote, but we didn't realize that, the three were.
So in the past, I've served as a library trustee for, many decades. And in the past, there were an expired term. The trustees would meet potential candidates, and we would decide which one we would like, and we would present to the select board just like we are tonight. So that has been my experience for several decades. So
With Granby or with another town?
no, I've been here for 4 years. That's the way it's always worked. So
Not the way it worked when, before, but because that's the whole point. It's it's election, sort of like you guys are, people are coming.
Well, and it's sort of like the committees that we have where they send us the top 3 candidates and then we interview the top 3 candidates and then we
And then
select
everybody,
them.
in this case, both committees get to vote, which is why you needed a quorum from the.
well, we're just looking for Lauren to fill the term through May at this point. And then there's a new election and we take it from there.
At one of our meetings, we all decided that we were gonna pick Lauren to fill the seat out of the 3 candidates.
That was in November.
So we've been having a difficult time coming up with quorum to meet with you to present her as a candidate. Again, Michelle was presented as a candidate.
Was there
10
anybody
years
else?
ago.
Well, we had,
No, meaning, did anybody else show interest?
Oh, when I was presented 10 years ago?
Yeah. Because the way it's supposed to do, the selectmen usually have someone, anybody is able to run for that office, so to speak.
Right.
To fill it. And that's why you bring them to, and everybody listens to, and they say why
Well,
they're
in
interested.
the past, even when Virginia was chair, we would, as a group of trustees, we would decide which candidate we wanted to present to the, so that's been the way it's, as I said, I've been around for 25 years doing this, and that's the way it's always been. So if the rules changed in the middle of this term, I'd like to see it in writing.
I just want to make sure we're not deliberately pushing out 2 people who are interested in it and not giving them the opportunity to speak on their behalf as to the group.
We had actually presented a letter into the newspaper, and it stated, anybody interested in this position, please send us a letter of interest.
And then you sent them all to me.
And we had put a date in there, we had put in a date, so the additional candidates didn't respond in a timely manner, so that was the reason the trustees chose not to select the other two candidates.
But you still submitted the letters to the board as interest of those two candidates, correct?
I think they came in afterwards, so we did submit them. I'm not the chair, so I'm not sure of the
Okay.
timeline of all this.
They were submitted that last day. Or it's, I think, November 8th.
There's no dates on any of these letters from either of the candidates. How do you feel, Dave?
For lack of experience, I think that we need to kind of go with what we've known. I mean, I don't know, is there something in
There is.
general laws that tell us that we can't? or-
About advertising everything, yes.
We
Okay.
did advertise.
But it's only one person, right? You're only,
One
you're
person.
trying to appoint one person out of
Yeah.
3?
Yes, until the next election. So we're really talking about February, March. And then there's a new election in May, so.
Yeah. So I just want to ask town council, do you have any advice for us on this as far as, because I don't want to be pushing 2 other people out who were interested, and I don't have dates on these letters, nor on the posting, to know if the letters came in after.
Right. So Brian O'Toole, Town Council.
Thank you.
So there is mechanism, the Mass General laws. I'll bring it up here, but when I remember it's the 2 boards meet, okay, to select an individual. I don't think one board can unilaterally say this is who it's going to be. The select board also does have some input on this. And so it would appear to me that, at least from what I've been hearing here, is that the Board of Trustees here has basically said, this is who it is, or this is who we're going to be presenting to you. And I'm not sure that under the general laws that that's necessarily what's envisioned. It's a collaborative process. And this person may be the most qualified, but I would think that if the select board was interested from hearing from the other 2, and I don't know what the posting was, where it was posted, how, where their time frames, and again, we don't have, if these were submitted via email, we'd have the timestamp on that.
We did have it submitted by email. The letter to the newspaper, which we posted, the fact that we were going to give the candidate, and I think it
Without actually researching this now, that I would like to see all that. Whether or not I'm going to be making a decision today or a recommendation, that's highly unlikely.
We did base our decision on, that Lauren ended up submitting her letter, I believe it was by November 8th, that we are looking to have the letters and the other 2 submitted afterwards.
Understood.
So I would say, given the information that has been shared with town council, I think as not having, again, like Dave, not having experience with this, I really don't feel comfortable appointing, and Lauren, you very well could be the person who's most qualified for this, but I don't feel comfortable appointing without hearing from the other 2 that showed interest, because this is supposed to be collaborative. It's not supposed to be you appointing someone and then giving it to us to appoint. So we're all supposed to be doing it together. So I would feel most comfortable if we, interviewed all three and then made the selection.
I agree. Given the information that we have to work with currently, I think that we'd have to postpone it. Could we maybe put it in the next meeting?
So Kathy, would you be the one to reach out to these three candidates, or would it be the library trustees that reach out
It's up to them.
at the next meeting? So we can give you the date of our next original, or our next,
I can, I have all three, information on the.
on the letters?
Yep.
So could the library trustees be here on February 24th, and we can schedule at 5:31, or an appointment later on that night, whatever works for you?
We already have 3 appointments.
Okay.
that night, starting at 5:31 and up till 6 o'clock.
So 3 until 6?
Yeah.
And then 1 after 6? Okay. Would that be doable for the library trustees that are present tonight?
I think those, I don't know if we'll have a quorum.
Okay.
It was a struggle to get a quorum here tonight.
How many are on the library trustees right now?
Yeah. 8.
So you would need 5 for a quorum?
Yes.
So we can put you tentatively on the schedule at 6:15 or 6:30, Kathy? And then if you guys have a quorum that night and you come at that time, we can do it. If not, we can push you to the next select board meeting. But given the information that we have, I don't feel comfortable making that decision tonight.
Well, the trustees meet tomorrow, perhaps we'll discuss this further. We'll move in a different direction.
But it's clear, what do you mean by moving in a different direction? I'm sorry.
It would be up to the trustees to decide if we want to just wait till the next election in May.
Oh, till May.
Slot, or
Okay. And Kathy, that can go unappointed until then?
I don't know, I'll have to check. I
Okay.
have no idea. I have to check with Kathy.
Okay. So as of right now, Kathy, are you going to be contacting the three for that date
Only after hearing from them.
Okay. after their meeting
And I
tomorrow?
find out that Kathy, that can, yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I can send an email to
Yeah.
you and let you know what we decided tomorrow.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Sorry about that.
Thank you for coming in. I don't see Mr. Edwards
I
here.
don't either,
Okay.
and I don't see Charter Day.
And we have some time before they come in as well. And Pioneer Valley Planning Commission isn't here either, so let's
I
do,
have some things.
okay, yes, let's do that, Kathy, thank you.
I have one Dufresne rental. It's for the Friends of the Granby Veterans. And it's going to be on May 31st. And it's going to be a barbecue fundraiser for the Friends of the Granby Veterans. And they're hoping for at least about 150 people. They're going to have a band, and it's only till 8 o'clock. They have down arrive at 12, but I'm not sure that's when the actual event will start.
Well, they'll need to set up and
Yeah.
stuff, I'm sure, okay.
Okay, and then as far as some correspondence, you had Susan Knightley said thank you for appointing her to the opioid education committee and the Charter Day committee. She's happy to participate in the opioid committee, and because she feels she can contribute there. Unfortunately, she has to decline her appointment to the Charter Day committee.
Thank you.
And then we have a letter from Deb and John Matthew. And they are the finance committee, and they report at the town meeting over the last 2 years has recommended the town create a committee to look at the future of the Granby Senior Junior High School. We understand that the school department sent a statement of interest to the Massachusetts School Building Authority sometime in early 2024. Since the process has started, we think it's important for the town to get going on gathering information on what options there are for the school. My wife and I would like to be on this committee. And Mr. Hughes just happens to be here too.
Hi, you want to come up to the mic? And I know Kathy just said John and Matthew, but if you could state your name and your address.
Yeah, I'm John Matthew, 288 Taylor Street.
Thank you for your letter, and I know you also signed a paper to speak tonight.
Yes,
Did you wanna-
regarding the committee to be formed for evaluating what to do with the school, I think it's very important, obviously, to all of us. And the Finance Committee, in their report for the last 2 years of town meeting, had mentioned that the finance chairman urged the town to start some kind of process of getting a group of people, different people around cross-section of the town to look into this, right? So that it doesn't come down all of a sudden that the Massachusetts school building authority says, okay, we're going to give you 50%, whatever it is, to build a school. Suddenly that's in our hands without any evaluation or analysis of different options, and I think that's very important. I've been a resident for 10 years, and sometimes my experience says that at town meetings, we all of a sudden have this thing presented to us, the agenda is given to us when we walk in, and we say, oh, wow. Or it might have been posted a week or two before somewhere else. But it really sometimes doesn't give us enough time to discuss it and get difference of opinions from many people. And the school decision is so critical to our kids, but also to the town in terms of expenses, that we really should have a group getting on that, because it's going to take a while, because to do a thorough research, you have to talk to various school systems, find out what they did, what they didn't do, what was good, whatever, and whatever options someone might say. So I thought if the select board is responsible for creating a committee, that myself and my wife would like to go. And I am sure there's other people that would be interested across, maybe a teacher, maybe a parent with some kids in the school, or whatever, a retiree, whatever. That's basically that. And should I address that comment that I brought tonight?
Oh.
Or should I address that later, or?
No, you can actually, hold on, I put it somewhere in my massive pile of papers. Let me put that over there because we weren't able to do that. Here it is. There we go. So we'll do this one first so that Dave and I can comment on this one as well.
All right.
I appreciate you sending the letter. I think, as you stated, it's very important. I think it has to do with the future of the town and our finances. So we have to figure out what is going to happen with that building and what is going to happen with the school itself. So I think it's a great idea. I don't know what the committee would be called. And when you say various options, it's keeping the building, renovating the building, knocking it down, rebuilding.
Right.
And
maybe regionalizing with another school.
I think
Whatever
that's-
the options could be, the probability of this could be high, this could be low, but at least have all the options on the table so that when the town meets, they can say, oh, look at this, that option, okay, the good, the pro, and the con, the pro and con, et cetera, for all the options, right? But I think it's once again, just critical the town gets something like that, but also to check out all the options, so a group won't leave and say, God darn it, they didn't even address the fact that maybe we could do homeschooling. I know that's ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it's just get all the options, and it takes a while.
And to go off of your comment on regionalization, I don't even know how we would start that, because that would, Attorney O'Toole, would that be a feasibility study? If you were doing like regionalization and stuff? So if we were to appoint a committee to look at the future of Granby Junior Senior High School, and they wanted to look at all the various options, including regionalization, would that then be a study that we would have to do with towns, trying to figure out who's willing to regionalize and what that means for both towns, or however many towns are going in on it? I don't even know where to begin with regionalization.
I don't think a lot of people would, and I don't
Yeah.
pretend to say that I know that answer right off the top of my
Okay.
head, but after having heard about regionalization and remembering back in 1990 when I was around in the school system, I know that it was a big thing, and I don't think anyone, whether it was another community surrounding us or wherever, where the two select boards or school committees would get together and say, we're regionalizing, there must be a process.
Yeah.
Because either both or however many communities are going to potentially be involved, they're going to want to look at that and see if the numbers make sense.
Yeah.
Should it be something that the superintendent, start with her, and the chair of the school committee?
School committee.
With the select board.
With the
and,
select board.
Which Dave is the liaison.
Yes.
And then, also, so as far as committee members, or just to get the conversation
Maybe
started
first of
before
all, to
we
get
start
the conversation going to start that. I know that hopefully I got a date, hopefully to, for you guys, to meet with,
School.
the superintendent about talking about the 2026 budget.
Okay.
So, we've got a member from the select board, the school committee chair, the superintendent. Should the business administrator, of the school also be there
Yeah.
for finances? But I do like Mr. Matthews' suggestion of a townsperson being there too.
Well, I would say after that brief discussion of what is needed,
Oh, okay, so
and
just,
then-
okay,
how to regionalize, and then you'd have that part. You could still start a committee, form a committee, but that would be one piece that you'd be able to present already to them, the discussion on that, on how you go about regionalizing.
so Dave, is that something that you'd be willing to do at your meeting with them?
Sure.
Get the conversation started and figure out which districts, or I know last year the superintendent had sent a letter of it, or a school committee had sent a letter of interest to several towns in the area asking if they wanted to regionalize. And I remember Glenn saying that it should come from the select board. It should be from select board to select board, asking the town if they want to regionalize. Because it's a whole town issue, right? It's not just between the schools, it's between all the taxpayers of both towns. So that might be where, Dave, at your meeting, you guys decide it goes first, as a letter needs to go out to the surrounding communities asking if they're willing to regionalize, because I know there's lots of school districts that are hurting financially, or lots of towns that are hurting financially when it comes to the schools.
Yeah, see, that's just, like I mentioned, just
One
one
piece.
option,
Yep.
right? When other towns are approached, right, the conversations with these towns should highlight the benefits of, or the detriments of, right? The pros and cons, right? To ask a town, hey, you want to regionalize? They'll say, what? No, we don't. We're fine. Then but if you said, hey, the concept of regionalization here's the benefits you would get. Here's the downfalls or the shortfalls you would get, but be an honest appraisal, right? So when that letter is sent to all these towns, you have to give them a reason to, right? And address the reasons that they won't. And I'm not saying you prejudice your letter. The purpose of the letter is get information, right? So if you gave them pros and cons, they could send a letter back or an email saying, well, the number 1, 2, 3, it sounds good, but this 4 and 5, you know, that effect on our town would be, you know what I'm saying? And that's where a committee would do all that groundwork, that grunt work, because there's a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations. The person you need to get a hold of couldn't be on vacation or whatever, right? I don't want to go too much further, but like I was mentioning, a committee would have the time, and if you had like 8 or 9 people, you know, you do this part of this option here, Mr. Matthew, you do this, Mr. Smith, you do this option, and then in a week or 2, come back and tell us where you are. Well, I'm only here, so okay, what's next? You know, hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of work.
So I think in order for us to begin to even start that committee, is we would have to come up with the committee name and then figure out what the
The mission statement should be.
the charge, thank you, I was looking for that word, what the charge of that committee would be. So I think it's a great idea, and I think we've got to give it some more thought on what we would call that committee. I
Right.
think it's definitely a great idea.
Okay. Now, can I address that other
Yes.
thing I did? Okay. I didn't write it very well, but my thing is, I've been at the town meetings since I've been here, and I see warrants all the time. And most of the warrants regard finances, you know, move this to this, right? My objective, and I can get people to probably agree to this, is that we have a lot of committees, a lot of boards, and I've been looking at minutes from a lot of these boards. Some of them don't even have minutes published. Other ones do have minutes, and they go through the agenda and they just check it off. So instead of going through an hour and a half of a videotape, which is great, but a lot of people don't have time to sit for an hour and a half for a particular subject. So you look at the agenda and they just have check it off. So you'd have to go through a YouTube of an hour to say, oh, that's what they did with it. Is it feasible, or is it the right way to go about requiring all towns and boards that deal with town business have 3 to 5 business days to write up the actions they took from the agendas and have it sent to the administrator of the website and have it published? I've been on the website, town website, and there are minutes. Unfortunately, the finance minutes stop at 2016, which isn't, it's not really good if you want to follow the finances of the town. Other boards I see, and they have the agenda and they write what happened. Like the school committee minutes, they have a big long agenda, then they publish this thing, okay, what action was taken, and they have written, not typed, what the action was for that particular agenda item. So it just makes it easier for boards to communicate what they're doing to the people, to the town. So would a warrant say, a warrant obligating all towns, boards and committees to be required to send to the town's website within 3 to 5 business days a summary of the actions they took at that previous meeting? Is that a warrant to do that, or does the select board have to obligate all towns and boards?
So
Doing-
I was gonna say Mass General Law says 30 days, right, from when the meeting occurs? So we wouldn't be able to do a bylaw, I don't think, on that.
right? It would be more policy or procedure versus a bylaw,
Yeah.
which would be up to the select board. But I do have to say, a lot of the people who serve on our boards and our committees are they work full-time somewhere else. So to give them 3 to 5 business days is not a lot of time, and they've just spent 4 hours in a meeting the night before, and then in 2 days, they're supposed to have it up and ready to go. So I do want to be cognizant of their time as well, because they're already serving and trying to give back to the community. So I don't know that 3 to 5 business days would be enough time.
Well,
I don't know how the board.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
At the end of this meeting, someone must be taking notes or,
So we have, yes, we do have someone up in the town administrative office that does our minutes. She goes through the YouTube videos and types them up for us.
yeah.
But it takes a while because
Yes.
our meetings are extremely long.
Well, see, that goes into the difference of interpretation, right?
So you
When I
just
say
want it quick.
summary, I don't want you to do a whole paragraph, but like on Mr. Matthews' thing here, because he suggested a warrant. Well, warrants won't work. We will think about a different approach for Mr. Matthew to get these things done. You know what I'm saying?
You like that idea. I
Makes
really
sense.
do. I just don't know if 3 to 5 business days is enough, but
It's definitely not enough.
yeah.
And each board is different. Each board is made up different.
Yeah.
As a select board, we're one of the only, or few, probably the only board that has actually someone that is a town employee, per se, as a full-time town employee that actually does our minutes. Other committees or town boards do not.
Yeah.
Some town boards are elected. Some committees are appointed. Some boards are paid. Some boards are not. So it comes into, again, the time frame and, I mean, and as I see, and I've seen it over the years, less and less people want to be appointed to a board or a committee, or actually run for a public, board, such as select board, school board, or things like that, because it is time consuming.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, but for us to have GCAM was huge. GCAM, really wasn't part of the meetings many years ago. So to kind of sit there and watch it and actually hear what was said versus to read a couple sentences as to what was said and may not tell the whole story where someone can, go through and see it. I did see, recently on one of the Facebook pages that someone actually put together like a time frame of when certain things were on GCAM as far as the recording. So I thought that was helpful. So, but it's definitely something for us to look at, without a doubt, and to kind of see what we could do in regards to that.
5, 6 months ago, I went to the community TV over here, and I spoke with someone. Oh, I spoke to him at a meeting he was filming, and I said, this is more than 6 months ago. I said, don't you have software, because I seen it done, don't you have software that indexes the video? So I could type in Glenn Sexton and immediately search the indexing of the video and say, oh, he's talking. Or once again, Mr. Matthews' proposal. So you type in Mr. Matthew, and the software would search the video and stop right where Mr. Matthews talking. Now I asked that fellow there, and he says, oh, once we get a new director, we'll be able to get that. Now I haven't spoken to him since, and I will again, because I think that would be so much easier for town people to get information from the things that are happening, right? Instead of going through an hour and a half of a YouTube thing.
And to your point too, sir, there is technology out there where someone can take a video and that can be transpired into actually a transcript of what was said and who said it and what was said. It's always not perfectly correct, so you gotta go back and tweak it, but it does pick up on things. I mean, that's just technology, where technology is today versus years ago. But with that comes a cost, and I don't know if, GCAM wants to look at that, or the town can look at something, but I mean, your point is well taken, without a doubt.
I appreciate if I could get feedback on that committee, proposed committee on researching what to do with the school, what, either regionalizing or something else. There could be other options that, there's a lot of bright people in town, here too, that can come up with something to educate our children. Thank you very much.
But to your point too, on the other piece as far as the meeting minutes, and I can say for this board, the committees that this board appoints will reach out to those committees and ask for a quicker response as far as minute meetings. And we can also do with the other committees and boards that are elected, just from us to let them know that you came in and and I'm sure it's not just your concern, it's other people's concern as well. And if we can, move those minutes along quicker and get them posted.
Yeah.
And even if they're skeleton minutes, like you were saying too, like, this is the topic, this is what the decision was, this is the topic, this is what the decision was, instead of
It's
a
just,
whole transcript.
we just gotta remember though, when minutes are put out, so you can't put out a transcript of minutes and then call it minutes and then come back and change the minutes
Right.
at a later date. So we wanna make sure that it's done
Right.
correctly. What we could, these were the topics that were discussed at a meeting. It all becomes to decide whether or not that's actually minutes for that meeting or not minutes for that meeting, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's things that we can look at, because technically until we approve minutes, they're not accurate until we actually review them, and say, yes, they're approved.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Kathy, we do have,
Guys showed up late, had a lot to say,
that's all right. So Mr. Edwards is not here. So Kathy, we do have 5 minutes before the Charter Day Committee meeting.
Okay. I have, on this correspondence, Jeremy Carrier, he sent a letter in of resignation for ZBA.
So do we have any vacant spots besides him now? Is there any other vacant?
Yeah, we have another associate, if, we're
Okay.
always looking for people for the zoning board of appeals.
So far, 2 vacant positions. So if anyone is interested in the Granby Zoning Board of Appeals, you can call Kathy and let her know.
I just want to let you know that the capital improvement, committee is going to be meeting on Tuesday, February 25th. Russ Anderson wanted me to let you know that the fire chief committee has met as a committee and are reviewing resumes and scoring. They are going to schedule to meet again on 2/19 to determine who moves forward to the assessment. We have a rough date of March 12th for that.
Perfect.
And after the board had met last week, and you had sent about the planning board to look at the ADUs, doing the dwellings and stuff, and remember they had said they weren't gonna do anything. Chris reached out to Ken, and he said I think that would be fine, and we can prepare something to that effect wherever single-family homes are allowed, RS, RM, BC. We learned through the final regulations that district refers to whatever SFs are allowed by right or with a special permit. So those are the 3 zones. We will also be adding the definitions appropriate from the state legislation. So they are willing to add it to the zoning bylaws. At first they weren't going to, but they are going to, they said.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw that we got from Eileen Lennery for the MDI Gap Networks grant program. Granby was one of the municipalities that was awarded part of the grant.
Yep.
So to continue on adding some more broadband to where it can't be in, Granby.
Nice.
I think that's all for now. Oh, other than that, we also got, actually, the conservation got from the Executive Office of the Energy and Environmental Affairs, about the dam owner, and I did pass that on to Dave Leonard.
Because I believe that's what he's working on, right?
Right.
So we got the extension for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did
Perfect.
send it to him also, as well as the conservation.
And then we did receive a letter, which I think what was it discussed in the last select board meeting about our building commissioner, because we posted it. So we do have his letter in here as well.
Right, and you guys have a meeting on Thursday where you'll be interviewing for, applicants for this position.
Okay. All right. So it is 6:13. If everyone is okay, we can move to the Charter Day Committee since our appointment is here for 6:15. Randy, if you would like to come up, please. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good, yourself?
Good, thank you.
Okay, it's just a couple of things we wanted to go over. It's letting the Charter Day Committee actually sell water at the Charter Day. I mean, it's just all about pricing, making money for Charter Day.
So Randy, I'm sorry, can I stop you there? Can you just say your full name, your address,
Oh.
and then your position on the board?
My name
For the
is
committee,
Randy
sorry.
Gavin, 34 New Ludlow Road in Granby. And I'm the chair of Granby Charter Days.
Thank you. So for selling the bottled water, how much do you guys want to sell that for?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, $2 a bottle.
And it would just be sold at the Charter Day trailer?
Well, if possible, maybe 2 spots, because like, there's nothing to drink when you come across the bridge. So if we had somebody over by that bridge area with, water, I mean, because I know that was my problem in 2022, is finding a bottle of water. You have to walk all the way over to the other side. And even at $2 a bottle, the profit margin is great compared to what everybody else is charging, so.
Okay. So, but to the volunteers and
It's
to
free to the
the bands, it would
volunteers.
be free?
Yes,
I think if you have enough volunteers to do that, to set 2 people up just to sell water, that would be excellent, because we did not have enough volunteers, but I don't know how the other 2 board members feel about the bottled water.
All becomes the volunteers,
Yeah,
but then is there something that goes along with it, because now we're selling something.
Well,
Charter Days is
the-
now selling something.
well, they do, the Charter Day chair has the common vic's license that they put out, right?
Yeah, we haven't gotten any yet.
Right, but, so he's gotta fill out all the licenses, so. And the
What
rental.
happens if they don't sell all the water? Then what? What are you doing with the water?
that's easy. I mean, if they don't sell the water, whatever doesn't get sold, I'll buy. I don't mind. I mean, I'll go pick it up and buy it, and then that
Charter
way
Days,
just get reimbursed
you
for
know,
the amount I
donate it to.
bought.
Yeah.
So it's donated to somebody as well.
Does it create a conflict with the vendors that sell water or no?
I think if anything, it would just create a conflict on the ride side, because nobody sells anything on that side besides the ride company.
Yes.
So you're gonna stay on on the other side?
I'm still gonna stay on the other side, but at the bridge also. Not directly against the bridge, but when you first come across it, right there and then down by the committee trailer, that's it.
Okay.
So just two
So kind
spots.
of where the petting zoo is.
Yeah, because literally you have to walk all the way around. But then, you know, that's the other thing,
So I don't have a
Just-
problem with it.
yeah, just those two spots, that's it.
I guess too, are we looking to do it as more of a convenience for people?
That's, yeah, pretty much that's it. Just, it's all it is a convenience for people to be able to get bottled water here or bottled water at the other end.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, it's the committee looking to purchase, you know, water from Costco or something like that?
No, Restaurant Depot.
Or the-
So it's
Say-
40, so it's 40 bottles of water for $7.
To the point of making it, I'd rather see us, you know, charge $1 a bottle. And then I just say, because it's more convenient for people, if you're looking to kind of serve.
And that's when it
purpose.
becomes a problem for the vendors because they're all charging $3 to $4 a bottle for water.
But you're still undercutting whether it's $2 or $1.
Well, $1, $2, whichever.
You know, I'm just,
Even if it's $1, it's still, there's still a profit being returned to just the committee. That's all I'm worried
right,
about.
and I'm looking at both ways as it's a convenient for people to have water there.
Yes,
And it's not too costly to say, well, gee, $2 for a bottle of water. We're not trying to make, we're trying to do it as a convenience,
yeah,
but also make a little profit as far as like a donation to Charter Days, if you.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much how it's going.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Sorry, and I suppose the first place to look in, I'm not quite sure the mechanisms here, but if the town enters into contracts with the vendors, that's really gonna be the first place that you look to see, you know, what, if any, restrictions there would be for the town to essentially enter the marketplace. If these folks, these vendors are, if they pay the town something in order to participate, I'm sure they would have some questions as well. So I would say the first place to look is with the contracts that we have with these vendors in terms of restrictions, if any, of the Charter Day Committee from essentially entering the marketplace. Even for something like convenience, you know, if there were water taps or water, you know, bubblers or something like that around that's free, you know, that's already exists, and that's one thing. But to be entering the marketplace, that may be a little bit something different. So I would just encourage everybody to look at the agreements that they sign with the vendors first.
There's nothing in there that states that we're restricted on selling anything.
Okay.
so. All right.
Because we also sell T-shirts and other stuff there too. Or we did in the past.
I would like to try to do that again. And then, well, not this year because I already have people sending me in contracts, but for next year, raising the food vendor price to $400 per food vendor. And if they get water, bring it up to, make it 100, so it'd be 500,
What is it for water right now, Randy?
75.
No, so you're asking to go from 350 to 400 for 2026, which seems like a reasonable increase to me.
Yes.
But when you say to 500 for water, what are they paying right now for, because there's only 5 prime spots that can get water hookup, right?
Oh, yeah, they're
Or
paying,
four?
so it goes up $50. It'd be, they charge them,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was
yeah, one of the contracts.
4 or 450 that we charged for water. I thought it was 400.
So it's, yeah, it was $400 fee.
Okay.
So it's $50 and more for water.
So you guys want to go from 400 currently this year to 500 for water?
Well, we won't be able to do it this year. I
2027.
already have contracts sent in from people which don't have the water in their license, their, what they want. So I won't be able to charge them the 400 or the extra fee
Okay.
for the water. So we'd have to wait till next year now because of the fact that
Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 contracts in.
Okay.
So,
Well, I guess none of the contracts are signed yet.
no, none are signed.
Well, I guess what is concerned with going up to $50 now for this current year?
I think what he was saying is because they already reached out to food vendors and sent them the contract. So
So-
they're filling out the contract with that current price that's already on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so then, because that's butchers, whatever, and the nutmeg, but I have to go over that whole contract because they want to put 2 trailers in, and each one is different, but then it's gonna run into something with one of the other vendors, so I have to kind of go over all their stuff and take out stuff. So, yeah, because of that fact, and then, okay, you said there's 5 water spots. Why
I
is,
can't remember off the top of my head, it's either 4 or 5 for the prime spot, because that's all the Board of Health will let hook up to the water. So you're restricted by the Board of Health, which you guys should be contacting shortly, so that you know what is required of you.
oh, yeah, because I'm trying to understand why they won't allow any other trailers.
They don't want too many splits within the water and having it contaminate the well. So you're gonna have to have the plumbing inspector come
Yeah,
and evaluate or inspect the valves and make sure they have backflow preventers, so that nothing goes back into our well,
Yeah.
contaminating the drinking water.
all right,
So Fred Marion did it 2 years ago, which is our plumbing inspector for the town. He went there with me and we walked through everything to make sure that it was what the Board of Health was looking for.
yeah, because I know that usually they split off, and I mean, you go to any fair in any state in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, they split off, they Y off.
Yep.
And then they can have more people attached to the water. All right, so, but,
So is the board okay going from 350 to 400 for next year?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't see a problem. with that.
And then 400 to 500 for water?
yes.
Perfect.
next is, making Friday parking price $10 instead of the $5, so it'd be Friday and Saturday are 10, Sunday are 5, which is the slower day of,
Which is what we had back in 2022. We had the $10 for Friday.
No, we had 5, 10,
Are you
5.
sure?
Yes.
Okay.
because, but the way I look at it is, okay,
the biggest spender,
we have
right?
the better vans, we have the truck pulls, more things going on in that one day. So the price on the last day should be lower only because of it's Sunday, it'll draw more people in, compared to staying at $5.
What time does it open on Friday? Well,
It's 5 to 11, but I do know, Glenn, it's a busy night.
Well, it definitely is a busy night, but
Yeah.
hey, where someone can come in, on Saturday and park for 8 hours for $10, and then it's.
But I guess the problem that we faced when I ran it 2 years ago was that we were in a deficit on Friday because the truck pulls are going to be over $5,000. You get a good band in there from 8 to 11, it's at least $2,000. So you're already $7,000 in. And we didn't make the money back with the $5 parking, so we had to go into our savings. And that fair was over $50,000 that year, and we still went into the savings, even with what we grossed. So I think what Randy's trying to do is stop from going into the savings because there's only $12,000 left, and that used to be at $30,000. And every year it just keeps dwindling. And I know
Yeah,
we're not trying to make money, but we're trying to at least break even so we have
Yeah.
something left and we don't have to go back to the taxpayers and say, can we have money for the fair?
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, does it cost to do everything?
Yeah.
But anyway, if we do this, I would ask that the board kind of looks at it and says, okay, it worked out and this is why we did it, because we broke even, not that we made extra money.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
And that's
No,
not
I
what
think that's
people
good.
think that,
Yeah.
they look at Charter Days as a celebration of Granby
Yeah.
and a benefit to the Granby residents, as well. So kind of maybe look at the part there, like I said, is what, I'm fine with it. You are bringing people in to park a car for $10 is really reasonable. I think in some
Yeah, well,
places you go
because
for events, it's
they bring
$25, $20. Yeah.
Not per person.
So I think it's, it's a fair,
Yeah,
it's been
but-
$5 how many years?
I know, a long time on Fridays.
Well, the
Foster everything else is
advantage
gone
is with Granby Day, we don't like, let's say like the Big E, where they charge you to park and then they charge you to get in. We only charge one parking price, doesn't matter how many people you have
Right.
with you. So if the parking is $10, we're still getting in the whole event free.
No, I agree. I'm not disputing that at all.
No, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that. So it's not, it's just for us to kind of get back ahead a little bit instead of falling behind and going in the black, the red.
Right.
So,
That's what I want people to understand is that the
Yeah.
reason for this is, again, the cost of everything has gone up over the years. And like I said, how many years has parking been $5 on a Saturday? And I mean, on a Friday, and I think a year or two ago is when we went to $10 on a
On
Saturday.
Saturday.
That was really to start to offset the cost of the fireworks, because the fireworks got to be so expensive as well.
yeah.
So,
that's
like you said,
another thing.
it's, what it costs to operate Charter Days on a Friday. It's more expensive than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So I don't see a reason, why not to, take a look at that. Or just do it.
All right, so we're okay with that?
I agree.
I think.
Using the same wording from the 2022 contract, because the next one is about sending out contracts. Again, no, we can't send them out till after Charter Day. But using the same wording, just changing the dates for 2026. Sending it out to multiple people. I mean, I know there's some that we don't really want to send them out to, but then there's, to get bids on the 2026 season instead of waiting on that, just to get them up and going.
When you say bids, are you talking about the rides?
The rides,
Okay.
yes, the rides.
So, yeah, because this is your last year of your contract with Finelli's
Yes,
amusement rides for the 3-year contract. So you would send out the RFP after Charter Days.
yeah.
And you guys are gonna be tired, so I would give it a month or two.
Oh, yeah, I plan on it, but I'm looking at
Looking ahead,
trying to
Okay.
look ahead.
did you already type up the RFP for us to take a look at? And we would want to give it to special town council to make
Well,
sure
I'll
we thought
send
of
it to,
everything.
I'll email it to Kathy.
Okay,
Because I was looking for it, I have it printed out at home, but I
Okay.
got the wrong paperwork. And then about, if we would be able to do a 50-50 raffle.
so I think that's a question for the police chief, because
I-
I'm not sure if that
And I
is,
don't believe, under Mass General Laws 271, Section 7A, the town itself that doesn't qualify. It's not only nonprofits that have been operating in the Commonwealth for 2 years. I'm actually just on frequently asked questions site at mass.gov under the AG's office, and one of the may a municipal or other governmental organization, such as a public school or a conservation commission, sponsor a gaming event, raffles being considered a gaming event? No, is the answer, because these organizations do not fit within any of the authorized categories under 271 7A.
so no school can do it either?
No.
Interesting. How many
Now,
games
you know,
have we
there,
been to?
there could be whether or not a
Oh,
charitable,
okay, I see.
a nonprofit was set up like Friends of Granby Charter Day, okay, that was a 501c. They could do that, okay, and then donate it to Charter Day. But under this
That's like, that's all.
Yeah.
section, and it's not like we could just set one up now either. It'd have to be at least 2 years, and then that organization has to apply for a permit to conduct raffles, so it's more involved. But certainly the town on its own does not qualify, or any of its committees or boards.
There is a Friends of Granby Parks if you wanted to reach out to them. If you wanted to have it just, as like a community building thing or something like that. But they've been established for, God, Lou Berry set it up. I don't even know how many years ago, but they're a 501(c).
What's it called? Friends of Granby?
Friends of Granby Parks. Kathy, I'm not remembering, is it Jason? I don't remember his last name. That's the chair of that.
I don't know, I just remember that Tim Abbott. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Tim Abbott and Nick Robinson.
Yep.
I think are on it.
I think they just had they post on Good News Granby and Granby Town Meeting with dates that they have, and they have a Facebook page too, so I can send that to you.
Alright. And then the question about adding a few more vendors, because I noticed like in 2023, there were just a few vendors that were selling drinks. I mean, drinks don't really come down to a food vendor. So, because they're serving drinks. The way I view it, they're not serving food, they're serving drinks. So if we could make it so that it was 12 food vendors and a couple, say 2 or 3 ones that are doing, like the fruit mixed drinks and stuff like that, instead of just saying, okay, it's only 12 vendors, that's it. There's,
So that was the contract that you had in front of you was up to the discretion of the committee, and then they presented it to the board. So we upped it from 10 to 12, I
Yeah.
think, in 2023. And that was based on the capacity of putting the food trucks down the tree belt, with keeping that corner open so that the fire department and EMS can get to and from if there's a backup traffic in that back corner.
Yep.
So I would just advise that you keep that back corner open for the fire department and the police department to get to and from if they need to get in that way. And then are you still making them self-contained? So they have to have their own generators and water source and everything?
yes, but
Okay.
that was one other thing I wanted to ask, because John brought up at the meeting about bringing a generator in.
Which would be another expense for the committee,
No expense.
because,
He works there,
oh, okay.
so.
Hey.
And bringing in one of the generators to be able to use, to be able to supply, which we would still have to charge like $75 or whatever they charge for the postings for people to connect. But it would take away from them having to go out and buy gas for a generator that's gonna have to have gas put in every 4 hours if we have a generator on site.
I don't have a problem with that. I remember back
Just
in,
remember though,
Well,
if you're supplying the generator
and it blows.
and it breaks, something like that, you're responsible.
Yeah, we have like John stated, we have somebody in site to be able to help us out. So, right, like he said, he's right there, so.
So that did happen to us one year where the generator blew, and Gino's from Poppies had to call in an emergency one, which was 2 hours behind. In the meantime, none of the food trucks had electricity, including the lights to the food tent and the beer tent. So just something to think about. What back then we were just trying to take the responsibility off the town and off the committee. So that's why we had them be self-sustaining. So like Glenn said, I would just err on the side of caution. The more you add, the more you're going to be responsible for.
Yeah. I
And
understand.
Glenn has volunteered many times at the fair, got stuck there because we don't have volunteers. So I just wanna, like, I think it's great, all of the ambition and everything you guys have, just keep in mind, you're gonna need volunteers.
Yes,
Everything runs smoothly with volunteers, but when you don't get them, people stay.
yeah.
The generator you're speaking of would be a large portable one, I assume,
Yes,
from like a rental company.
from QFS,
Okay, yeah.
which in turn, we would turn around and let them put some of their equipment on the area like they did in 2022, for the kids to be able to go and look at them and see them and stuff like that. I mean, it's a even exchange kind of, you know, it's, they have their generator there, they have, you know, like one of the big trucks and, excavator or bulldozer or something like that, set on the property, it's
So I
for the
guess
kids.
I just wanna kinda, so it's, the generator would be like a large capacity generator?
Yes.
To sell power?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're talking
it would only be to be connected to,
Right, so, but we're charging a fee for people to connect to it.
yes,
Right. And this is coming from where?
QFS,
And someone on the committee works there?
yes.
Yeah, that's more of a conflict. But I'd stay away from that.
Uh, Yeah, because that was, part about getting it in free, so that's,
Yeah, I think what Glenn is saying is that the committee can't make money off of something they're getting for free because of connection that a guy has that works for them. So,
We can have our town council look at it, but it sounds like it might be a conflict. I mean, so it's actually, you're bringing something in where it's something that didn't go out and give the opportunity to other people to do something like that. But we can take a look at that. He's here, you heard what was said, so.
yeah. Oh,
And I just say that because I want to make sure that, you know, we're protecting the town, but also
yeah, I
looking out for an
understand.
individual that, you know, may not, that wants to do good. And I don't want someone to get, you know, surprised by
Yeah.
something.
All right, well, then one other question I didn't have on here is, what is the problem with, the Granby Charter Day, getting the insurance and, running the beer tent?
so I don't know any town insurance that will give us a 1-day permit or a 2-day permit to sell alcohol.
It's like $1,000.
That's a huge liability for a town.
Town can't.
I will,
For the town to
it would
be
be
the merchant,
the
essentially.
Charter Day committee to run the beer tent.
Well, we would hire bartenders to come in. It's $100 a day. They check the IDs right there as they come in and stuff. But that's $100 a day for each one of them. It's four bartenders that rotate the shift, and they get to keep their tips. The rest of the money from the sale of the beer would go directly into Charter Day funds.
So they
One,
would-
I don't know if the town would want to get involved,
Excuse me.
you know, other than hiring vendors, to take the liability on that.
I don't, it's a huge liability for something to go wrong, and we're subject to the town to a huge liability.
Yeah, you know, that's not necessarily a legal opinion, but anytime, whether it's a private client or whoever wants to get involved or goes to the town here to get a 1-day license for whatever, we require that they have all the requisite liability insurance, and certainly
With the liability insurance, it's, to get the liability insurance would be $1,000.
Well, you're quoting it from what insurance company, not the town's insurance
No,
company?
no, not the towns, it would be separate, we would,
But if something were to happen, Randy, I think what my
Going back at the
concern
time.
would be, then it's the taxpayers'
Yeah.
money that would have to pay out whatever suit was filed. So even though it's a town committee running it, if something were to happen, then it falls back on the town, and then the taxpayers would have to fork that bill over, and I don't think that I would wanna do that. Well, I know I don't wanna do that to
Yeah.
them. It's different if it's a private insurance company and they're picking up it, but it would be the taxpayers picking up it, right?
but it would be
Even if the insurance
under a
company-
private insurance.
Well, the insurance company would, but there's always a cap to it.
Yeah,
And when they're sending in, you know, the insurance company, the cap was $1 million. And then that lawsuit used to be $2 million, then
Town-
town's
town is
liable for the
responsible.
1 million.
So, it's, to me, it's just
Yeah, I'm just
it's a
looking,
liability that I'm not interested in undertaking, and just because of the what ifs that could happen. You know, I know we had the lounge there too.
266, post 266
Right.
did it.
So they usually donate money back, right? Was that?
no, they stopped
Really?
donating the money back.
I don't think they did the last year. I'm not positive. You don't have the treasurer's report from the committee of 2023, right?
No, I was just told that they did not, in 2022, they did not, give
Donate
anything
back.
back.
So,
And I do know we can't ask them for a donation because they're a nonprofit, so they either donate or they don't.
Yeah, that's up to them, so.
Yeah.
so just
But if they,
your point, sorry, go ahead.
if they sponsor the beer tent, then the onus is on them.
Yes.
That's-
They have to
That's
get
why
their
it
own
was-
insurance
That's why it was
policy.
always done that way.
But I'm wondering to your point, is to make money, to add money to future charter days and, you know, make charter days better and better as we go down the road. Is there another company that can come in that's just the same way the other vendors do, where they could,
Yes,
is that a possibility?
So he absolutely could. He would have to do the same thing, draw up a contract, or just engage with somebody else that does it. I know the beer guy has done some stuff in South Hadley at fairs and stuff like that. I don't know who else around here does that, who's a vendor who who does the alcohol and the outsourcing of it. So that's something that you guys could look into and see if you could find someone where you could make a profit off of it.
yeah, because if possible, we'd like to, but like, well, this is another question I have about it, about putting a food truck over by that area where the beer is, because, I mean, people have to leave the tent, go back, to get back in line and wait. If there's a food truck over in that area, I mean, they don't have to walk all the way through the whole, the park area. And then I'm just trying to make it easier, I mean, and then they can, see where their kids are and stuff. By sending them over to the food truck or whatever. I know they're not allowed in there, but they have them under the gazebo and going around doing things. But with a food truck right there, and plus that also helps with people who are sitting in there drinking too much.
I mean, how long have we had alcohol there now? Maybe 5 years? 6, no longer
Oh,
now?
boy.
I'd say
No,
more than
Longer now?
10,
I'd say 3 or 4 years. Well, no, because it was on and off.
right?
And then
Yeah.
I brought it back when I was on there with
Right,
Mitch.
they had Opa.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right,
In the past, yeah.
right, so that does answer the previous question.
We've had it.
We had
in
a
the past.
different vendor in there. But that's a discussion to have with the police chief, because he's had some reservations about,
Yeah, we
expanding
wouldn't have it
things.
inside of there. They would still have to come out, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't have to go walking all the way all over, to the other side. It was just put something there, and then, the other thing is blocking off for, the truck pulls, about just putting one vendor in over there. I mean, in the truck pull area, so that way, we don't have other people trying to sneak in there and not paying to,
That might be something, maybe for the future, Because I think, some of the things you're talking about, someone would consider a prime location.
Well, it's a one-night prime location, that's just it, but the last one, you had Poppy sneak in over there and never paid to
It
be
wasn't
over there.
Bobby's.
Oh, it wasn't Poppy,
No, it was a cousin of another company, Dino's.
oh, okay, Dino's.
Yeah,
But still, somebody sneaking in over there to try and sell food, if you have somebody that's over there, it's only one day spot,
well,
but it's a prime spot.
well, that's what I'm saying. So you may, maybe not this year, but the following years, maybe that, if someone's wishing to want that spot, it costs a little bit more for those particular spots, because chances are they may have bringing more, I mean, it depends how you look at it, because if that particular vendor is there and, people aren't gonna walk, may not walk the extra distance, they may just put it in, get their food from that particular vendor, which is gonna benefit, that company, and that, you kinda gotta look at it, and the other vendors may not be, well, so I guess you gotta look at the whole scenario where
Yeah.
you kind of,
Well, I'm
right now,
just-
you have kind of a fair playing ground, because you got them all lined up
There.
across, right?
And also in the only other thing I want to change is in the contract for, the amusements. The only thing you have in there is allowing them rides. They bring in games that they charge rent on, they bring in food trailers that they charge rent on, and they charge them by the foot. So they're making what they pay the town back just by charging for those games. And if you go to a fair, each game pays the fairgrounds for that concession stand that's on there, no matter if it's food, game, or whatever. So, I mean, their contract only states rides. So,
And I never knew that. I mean, I took it over from Michelin Turgeon, and the contract was they bring them the rides, and they always brought food, they always brought their games. It was what they offered on that side of the park, so.
but
Yeah.
under any fair, under your contract, the only thing it states is that they have the rights to rides. Nothing about concessions, nothing about food, just the rides. And I know for a fact that they're charging each food vendor, they're charging each game trailer per per footage.
Yeah.
If it's a center, they call it a center joint, they charge them a side and a half. So they get paid for that. I mean,
So the only thing I would say, for this year, just because it was a 3-year contract, is honor it the way it was held out the previous 2 years. And then when you send out the RFP, you can clearly define it within there.
And that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Just for revenue.
it's something I did for a while, and
Yeah,
I just know all the ways that they do things, so, I mean,
yeah, I never even thought about that
Yeah.
when we did it.
So, we're-
because it does, like I said, in their contract, in Finelli's contract, I went through the whole thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. The only thing they're guaranteed here is the rides,
Right.
nothing else.
you can
So-
still allow them to bring in the other things, and when you do a future contract, but you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it just it puts more money back into the fund of the board, so. All right, but,
Thank you, Randy, for yours and the committee members' work on this. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, all right? Thank you.
That's some good,
Thank you.
that's some good information right there. It really is. It's good things you brought up.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, Randy, you as well.
Now, Randy, too, the committee may wanna look at a 3-day parking pass that
Yeah.
people can buy in advance.
Advanced parking pass.
It was something that we looked into in 2023, but we ran out of time because it just crept up on us really fast. But yeah, so if it was $10, and $5, maybe they get a 3-day parking pass for 20 or something like that.
Yeah,
where they get a little discount on it if they're gonna be there several days. 'Cause even if they go 2 days,
Still moving, yeah.
they're either breaking even, right?
Yeah.
And then if they go on Sunday, they save $5.
You kind of gotta put a couple of things, restrictions, like a plate number or something like that, because if not,
Yeah.
it gets passed
That's
around.
Just
Yeah,
how you
That's
get
true.
on.
yeah, but
So that
still,
way it'd be, send in your plate number, we send you back
Yeah.
the file to download,
Yeah.
and there's your plate number.
because, people go there all 3 days, and it's, it might be worth it to them.
All right.
Thank you again. Take care. All right, Pioneer Valley Planning Commission Services for TA.
Walking wounded before you tonight.
Oh, no.
Who?
Work was.
Ryan O'Toole as well.
Hi, Eric, welcome.
How is everyone?
Good, how are you?
A bit better. I blew out my Achilles, so
Why'd you do that?
plain stupidity, I think, is what it goes with. But we'll just leave it at that. I'm getting used to it. It's all right. Could be worse.
All right, Eric, so I did, we got a chance to look at the contract.
Yep.
And I did send it to, our Labor Council. And so I think Kathy gave you the,
Yeah, there's
The one that you
some
just
slight
read.
changes.
yeah. Did you get, I know you were waiting, for a little while, so I wasn't sure if you got some time to look it over.
I would have to put this back before Erica just to make sure. She does our contracts and et cetera, but I don't think there's anything in here that's out of line. I use pretty standard language for whatever we did. So I couldn't really comment on it. It doesn't look like anything big.
No, it looks like it's more, making sure that because it's a Pioneer Valley Planning Commission
Yeah.
and they're a temporary employee, that they're not employee of Granby.
Correct.
And then liability as far as litigation, it looks like.
Yeah, like I said, I would just have to share this with Erica and she's our expert in contracts. I don't pretend to know the details, but
Okay.
again, none of the language changes are significant. That might be the most significant one, is the litigation
Yep.
versus. Maybe you've improved our contract language for us, so we would appreciate that as well. My only concern in this whole process is Ira's availability is not great during this time. But on the other hand, he will be a great resource to whomever you are bringing in. And, you'll have enough time and space to figure this out. And so.
It's not great, but at the same time, it's when our town administrative assistant interim, both, all in one, is on vacation. He's here all 5 days.
Okay,
So that's the good thing, guys.
so we'll,
That's
You
what
know,
we really
and-
needed.
Yeah,
it's almost like, I can say this, but I know you can't do it. It'd be easier for you to just talk to Ira straight out, but then you have to put it out and you have to do all the things about bidding and we're opening
Whereas
a
if it's
job and
through
all that kind
Pioneer
of
Valley Planning
through us.
Commission.
Yeah, so,
Yep.
It's 6 to 1 after the other two, so I don't know. But I think Ira, as you all know, is very competent. He knows his stuff. I trust him. He's, he's a natural for this kind of thing. So if he can help out Granby and we can help out Granby. I made it a not to exceed contract. If the numbers come out less because
Yes.
less hours are done,
Yep,
so
I
be
can
it.
see that.
There's a little bit of time for me to kind of watch over things in here. Not that I really feel like I'm going to have to spend a lot with Ira, but in my time, if he's doing everything right, should be minimal as well. So I just tried to build a contract that would get you all the way through to where you wanted to get to, cover us for a little bit of time that we're spending, and leave it at that.
The one thing I did want to ask you a question about, let me see if it's in this one. Okay, so in the original one that you had sent, it's at $106 an hour for services for the Director of Economic and Municipal Collaboration, but we're
Yeah.
only seeking TA, so that was a different thing?
No, that's me.
Oh,
That's my time, to just a supervisor, whatever. And like I said, my time is minimal in this thing, but I just, if you get a
Okay.
invoice back from us that shows that rate, that's me, so we had to put it in the
Okay,
contract itself.
But that would all
15
be-
hours.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's all,
I minimize my time, and it could be 10 hours by
Okay.
the time we're done, you know,
okay.
yeah.
Makes sense. And that's all lumped into that 12,000?
Yeah, he said it's 150 hours for the position and 15 hours for me, just in case. And I honestly will not, you know, whatever, if I'm not working it, I'm not gonna bill you for it, so.
Okay,
I appreciate that.
yeah. All right, so realistically, we're at the 10th right now.
Yep,
And then tomorrow it says he could, but you need your, sorry, I'm like Kimberly to look at it
and
right.
Kimberly, I know is out of town, but I will do my best to see what I can do to expedite this and see what we can do.
So realistically, if at the soonest would be the 19th and the 20th, where he could be with Kathy for at least 2 days prior to, those are his only 2 availability dates.
Well, I have a
Unless he can come
feeling,
in tomorrow, but again, we're waiting for, and that's assuming
Well,
that the other board members agree as well.
well, the other way to do this
Yeah.
is we backdate the contract, the start of the contract, to say February 1st, and that way he can work whatever time you need him to until the contract is signed, and then the contract will be backdated that way. But that means he's working without a contract for the town on a temporary basis. If that doesn't fit right with what you want to do, then I wouldn't do it. It's not quite kosher, but it, you know, he's just providing advice, so.
Well, okay.
The safest thing to do is have it dated the day that you're signing it and
Yeah.
move from there, so,
And
You'll make it
this
work.
can be, and this can be emailed to,
yeah.
I don't. Kimberly, she can take a look at it, say, it looks
Yeah.
fine to me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll work on it first thing tomorrow morning and get it straightened out as much as I can.
Do we have a meeting on Thursday, Kathy? We can add that to the.
Oh, you have a
agenda.
meeting on Thursday?
We do. We're doing building commissioner interviews,
Uh-huh,
but I can ask Kathy to add that to the agenda for Thursday.
that would be fine. I'll just talk to
But
him.
his availability is only the 19th and 20th
Yeah, because
next week.
he just had things planned already, et cetera,
Okay.
so. And he said, you know, when he's around, even if he's traveling or whatever, he'd be happy to answer, you know, Zoom and phone calls and all that kind of stuff, so. He's gonna make himself as flexible as he can. It's just the timing was, he had a trip here planned and a trip there planned. He's semi-retired.
You gotta justify it. I mean,
Yeah,
And then he's away March 6th through the 20th, but could be available, like you said. for
yeah,
a
could be
time.
available. Like, truth of the matter, he's going skiing out west. I don't know the details of where he's going, but hey, he earned the right.
The only thing that scares me there for us is Kathy's out March 15th.
That's when you're officially,
Yes, retired.
good for you. Anybody who can enjoy retirement, I say do it.
Yeah, good for you. I'm so sad for us. So happy for you though, Kathy.
That's right. So I will get in touch with Ira first thing in the morning and Kimberly first thing, and we'll go from there.
Right, so I think at this, I'm okay with the way our labor council has the contract. So
Okay.
do you guys want to wait till Thursday? We'll have Kimberly take a look over it, and then on Thursday we can vote on it, or can we vote today without the?
I mean, as a board, we're okay with, as it reads for us. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. The only thing I'd ask, if Kimberly wants to make changes to it, then we see the contract again with the changes she made.
So
Okay,
what you could do is vote to sign.
Yeah.
And then, like he just said, if there's a change, we'll just
Yeah.
amend it or whatever we have to do. That way you don't have to look at it twice.
I mean, really, Thursday's, it's not that far away. So.
yeah,
Now, I know you're interviewing building inspectors, but one of the projects we're gonna take up with some DLTA money, the District Local Technical Assistance Program, is looking at a regional, building inspector setup, so we'll see, it's coming, but it's not coming right away, but it's something that we wanna look at figuring out. Cause we know you, then South Hadley, then Holyoke, then Amherst, it's chairs at a table, people keep moving from one position to another, so.
all right. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion that we enter into agreement with the Town of Granby and Pioneer Valley Planning Commission for the temporary town administrator services.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cool.
Thank you, Eric, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want me to sign?
Can you
the
send a
red?
signed version like electronically? You can? Let's do that. and then-
Did you want me to sign the one with all the red on it, or? do
No,
you
we should
wanna
clean it
up? Okay. Like
Well,
clean it up.
Why don't we, just wait, because if there's no changes, then,
We can sign it on Thursday.
yeah, we'll send it. It's not gonna make a difference, right?
It's not gonna make a
Because
difference.
she, Kimberly still wants to, she's still
Yeah,
gonna,
we gotta take one look at it our end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't make that call,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
And then tentative start date of Ira on the 19th.
I will double check everything with him,
Okay.
absolutely.
as long as we're signed before the 19th, we're good, so.
Yeah.
I just was, yeah. Just trying to get him in here before Kathy leaves for vacation.
But it can't come until the 19th, right?
Well, that, according to this, so that's why I'm saying just confirm with Ira.
Well, that's, saying, well.
Is there any
13th,
pressing matter that you have for him?
That's a very loaded question.
That's why I'm asking it. Like, is there something critical you need advice on today? Like tomorrow, type thing?
No.
No. Because we could always, you could talk to me, I could talk to him, I could talk to you, just make sure I relay information. I mean, I'm familiar enough with town, contracts and policies and what things have to be
The
done.
big thing is that the budgets, are gonna be due on the 21st.
Yep,
And, after that, well, Chris asked today too, who is doing the ones for the town under you guys, all of them? Is he?
As the town accountant. And the previous town administrator, I think for continuity purposes, that makes sense. Is he willing to do it
For,
for a fee?
cause that'll be the first thing, to be honest, that,
Needs to be
he will
done.
be dealing with is the 2026 budget in a meeting with the, superintendent and Dave.
And you guys don't have a date for that yet?
No, cause I was waiting
Okay.
to see.
so are you looking for Ira's help with the budget as you go forward?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I will make
I was
sure.
gonna say, if we're already paying him, it makes sense
Yeah.
too, instead of paying two people.
The funds of running a local town government, huh? Is there
Every
any?
day is a new adventure.
That's right. Do you need me for anything else tonight?
I don't think so. I think we're good. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Eric, so
appreciate it.
much
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Which had a great story about how I injured myself, but I was going up a set of steps. I don't have I was skiing or whatever. I don't
You went
any of
skiing in
that.
the backcountry and
No, I was going up a set of steps, missed a step, and that was.
mountain lion came running out in front of
That's
you.
right, that's right. It's further there than it is back, that kind of thing, yeah. No. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
You too.
All right, next is, Kathy, did you have anything else for us? Okay. Next is to accept departmental reports.
We'll make a motion to accept the departmental reports.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
I just wanna, note, Dave Groves and his crew again, with the recent storms and stuff like that,
They're doing great.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Nope,
they're
And
going well.
while taking care of all the storms, they're also fixing all the generators in the town so that we have
Yeah.
running
Well,
generators.
Yeah, they've had numerous of issues that come up and, which people don't know about or don't see. And just continuing to keep the roads, during these recent snowstorms,
They've been
solid
really
and
good.
clear, yeah, so.
Yeah. We agree.
I just wanted to thank Jeremy Carrier for his explanations on the questions that I had at the last meeting. He clarified it all. We are saving money on salt, which is surprising, buying it from WB Mason. But
Yeah.
apparently they own everybody, so. So thank you to Jeremy for clarifying all that.
Yeah, that was very nice to read into. And I know that he said the mini splits weren't working in the West Street building, so they've had to, spend more money on oil than normal. Do you know what they keep that thermostat at? Is it like just above? Because nobody's in the building, so I hope they're not like heating it to 70 or something, so I would assume they're
No,
not, right?
I would say.
So-
no,
Just
like
enough
massive,
so that the
but-
pipes don't freeze?
Yeah, so I'm sure it's more.
Well, that's why, I mean, so the mini splits will keep it to a certain point,
Yep.
and then the furnace will kick on when it gets below that, so, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Mini splits are nice, they,
And small.
well,
Worse.
in cool weather, but they do work harder in cool weather.
I think
There's actually a certain point where they're not as
they actually should.
efficient, so. And that's where the boiler will kick on
Supplement.
to offset the warming, the heating the building.
And it was very nice to see that there's a lot of people accessing the police department for our seats installations. So I think that's really important, especially being a new parent. I know I utilized the hospital when they had it, but I think that's definitely a good thing. I think my only one concern, Kathy, was the Council on Aging. I still don't see on here any wellness calls. I did reach out to Natalie about the wellness calls, and she said that she believes Shiner Outreach should be doing it, even though the last director, it was the director that did it. And I guess I would just ask that at least if the outreach is doing it, we need to see it on here. I don't want the seniors that are homebound, that don't have anybody, being stuck at home with nobody checking on them.
So
I'll-
this,
I
this
can
needs to happen. We oversee the council on aging director. We want to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
And to us, that, yeah, I don't care who does it, make sure it happens.
Right.
I will
And as the
relay
director,
that to her tomorrow.
yeah, and as the director, she should be reporting off to us and letting us know that it is happening, that the seniors are safe at home, that they are being checked on.
Yeah.
I think that was just something that I'm really concerned about with this weather.
Yeah.
You know, with the snow and stuff, they could be stuck in their house with no food, no,
Yeah,
You
they
know.
did, yeah, before they just called us to make sure every, every couple of days to make sure
Right.
we're okay. Yep,
thank you.
welcome.
Anything else? All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Next is to approve and sign maintenance warrants.
I will make a motion that the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 48 dated 1/31/2025 for the total sum of $1,816,176.49.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion that the town of Granby authorize for payment payroll account summary. Town of Granby warrant number 47 dated 1/28/2025. The total disbursement,
I gave you,
you did give me one, yep, separate, thank you.
you're welcome.
Total disbursement of $456,714.42. Dated 1/31/25, warrant number 25-47.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
I would just say I'm gonna abstain from the teacher salary and the select board salary.
Glenn and I will.
You wanna say your statement first, or should I?
I usually say it after we
Okay.
vote, but yeah.
All in favor?
Aye. And Dave and I vote at necessity for the selectman's salary.
I will make a motion, the town of Granby authorize for payment. Warrant number 46 dated 1/24/2025, with a total disbursement for warrant 46 of $393,677.04.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? I did notice, Kathy, that we are paying the Northampton Veteran Services, so does that mean our VSO is done?
Yes, he is.
Okay. I thank him for his time here, 'cause he did a great job.
He
in the
did
amount
very
of
good.
time that he
He's
was
still doing the, once a month, the breakfast.
Oh, very nice.
That's,
Good. Okay. Nice. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
aye. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Kathy, I forgot to ask, actually, as I flipped the paper over. Attorney August, do you have an update on the cable
I
contract?
know they were still waiting for, the contract to come back.
Oh, from Comcast?
Yes.
Okay. When does that expire? Because I know we entered into that agreement
I think
18
it's the
months
end of the
prior,
year.
right?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
the end of the year.
I will make a motion, the town of Granby authorize for payment warrant number 46S dated 1/24/2025, with a total disbursement on warrant 46S of $232,090.90.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Sorry. All right, next is to approve and sign 2025 common victulars licenses.
Okay, and these one part of it because those were.
Yeah, that's all
That's correct.
Kathy's stuff. Yeah.
I will make a motion that the town of Granby waive the permit fee for Friends of Granby Elderly Incorporated, dated 1/29/25 at 31 North Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. There are two licenses.
They have one, yeah,
This one is the common vic license.
Right.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll make a motion, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Granby, to certify the Friends of the Granby Elderly, 32 Kendall Street, Granby, Mass. 01033, is hereby granted a common vic license in said Town of Granby, and that place only, and expires December 31st, 2025, unless sooner suspended or revoked. License number 25-30, dated February 10th, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
Discussion?
All in favor?
Aye. I will make a motion, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Granby, to certify Rocking M Ranch doing business as Clara's Coop at 198 Bachelor Street, Granby, Mass. 01033 is hereby granted a common vic license in said Town of Granby in that place only, and expires December 31st, 2025, unless sooner suspended or revoked, with a license number of 25-29 dated February 10th, 2025.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will make a motion that the Town of Granby waive a permit fee dated 1/29/2025 for the Friends of the Granby Elderly, 31 North Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. And this one is for the entertainment license.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
Discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And make a motion, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Granby, certify that the Friends of the Granby Elderly at 32 Kendall Street, Granby, Mass. 01033 is hereby granted an entertainment license to provide entertainment as follows. Live entertainment consisting of bands to be held in the gazebo located at 32 Kendall Street, Dufresne Park, Granby, Mass., sponsored by Friends of Granby Elderly from 4 to 8 p.m. This license is granted in conformity with the statutes and ordinances relating thereto and expires December 31st, 2025, unless sooner suspended or revoked. License number 25-09, dated February 26, 2024.
2024 or 2025?
It does say 2024.
It's 25, I can change
We
it.
can correct it? Okay,
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
no discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, so that was the entertainment license, right?
We don't need to
This
sign
is the
that one.
entertainment
Yeah,
license, yes. Just
Do you
as
want us to sign this one, Kathy? Or do we just cross off the year?
Cross
Okay.
initial it. They were trying to send me back a year.
I did it at home on Sundays, so I probably.
Right, next is for the assessor's office surplus equipment letter.
So the Town of Granby Board of Assessors, 215B West State Street, Granby, Mass. 01033. Dear Granby Select Board, January 20th, 2025 is the date. The Granby Board of Assessors have the following surplus equipment that is obsolete, damaged, or unusable. An HP OfficeJet Pro 6968 with the serial number of TH85M1N14K. Also, an HP LaserJet P2055D with the serial number of CNB1C10601. We are seeking permission from the Granby Select Board to decommission and recycle these items. These printers have since been replaced with new equipment for our office use. Please advise if we have permission to decommission and recycle, or if you would like these units delivered to your office. Thank you, Dakota Richards, Chairman, Granby Board of Assessors.
With your if you guys approve, then I'll have, Jeremy take care of them.
Are
Okay,
they old? Do they not work?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't want them brought to your office?
No, but thank you.
so I will make a motion that we accept that,
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
no discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Kathy.
Do we need to initial that or anything?
Sure.
Initial. All right, next is to approve and sign a one-year extension with Waste Management for pickup of municipal solid waste.
You previously approved this, at a meeting. This is just the actual contract that you're signing.
Which I believe we made a motion to have Chris to sign, I think, right?
At that time, we did because I thought it was just the
Oh.
chair, but is it
Right.
asking for
Now
all
it's
of
for
us
all
now?
of us now. Yeah.
Okay. So do we have to make another motion for all of us to sign it? Because we already approved.
Doug, you-
Well, we approved it, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just, it
okay.
requires a signature now.
So
Okay.
just a signature.
just to follow up. But
It's already been approved.
And you did find the RFP, Kathy, for
Yes.
us, for the 2026, we've got to get it out.
And I guess just to be clear, it's the one-year extension for contract for solid waste and recycling collection and transportation services between Waste Management of Massachusetts and the town of Granby,
Correct.
starting on July 1st, 2025, ending on July 30th, 2026.
Dave, I'm gonna give this back to you in a minute, because there was 2 places that we had to sign.
Sorry.
Gotta follow the tabs.
I'm sorry. My bad. Get used to,
Sorry.
get used to signing one sheet, and keep passing them on.
You want to date them? Date 'em, too.
Oh,
On the second page and the first page.
look at that, I even followed the tabs and I just disregarded it.
Thank you.
All right, next is to approve the board and committee appointment application. So I know we've been talking about this for a while on the board, that they usually email Kathy, and then Kathy has to search for them or try and find a phone number or try and hunt down their email if they want to be on a board or a committee. So I had put a rough thing together for Kathy, and then Kathy helped make it into something of a form. So I wanted to present it to the board members to see if there was anything else that you guys think we should have on here for boards and committee volunteer form. Again, it's a way that we can contact them. They have their phone number, their address, their email, the committee they're interested in, and then their personal experience or expertise relating to the work of that committee.
Yep.
And then down at the bottom, I had looked up a guide for members of public boards and commissions, which when Kathy emails this to anyone who's interested, they click on that link and it just gives them more information about being a member of a committee, a public board or a commission. So, or a committee. So it just gives them a little background so they know what they're getting themselves into, what it entails, and so forth. So I wanted to see what you guys thought of it, and if you guys agree, we can approve it, and then when someone wants to be on a board or a committee, Kathy can email this out to them.
I do agree with it. I did read through it quickly. It's a short process, easy to fill out. And if it gives them the information they need to volunteer for whatever services they can for the town, I would definitely approve that.
Yeah, it would be nice if that's what we get, so it can just be filled out online.
Yeah.
And then hit submit, and then
I can figure that out.
whatever it may
Do
be,
a
we'll just get
PDF
it.
online.
Okay,
That would be
it'll go to
nice.
them. So
Good.
we're not sending it out to someone to fill it out, to send it back. They can do it right online and they submit and it goes right
I'm
to you.
not sure we have those rights, but I will look to make sure.
Yeah, because it would be a PDF,
Yeah,
filler, right?
so.
I'll ask Steve now.
So I will make the motion then if we're good.
Well, we could approve the paper one and then Steve
Yeah.
will look into the online, well, we can still approve the online one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same
All
thing.
of it, yeah.
So I will make a motion, the Town of Granby Select Board accept the Town of Granby Boards and Committee volunteer form.
Are you thinking for, are we missing something?
No, I'm just looking at,
Do we have a date on here, actually, now that I'm
No.
thinking of it?
We could
A
write,
date that they
we should have
signed
a
up on
date,
there?
yeah.
Maybe add a date to it?
Yep, not a date.
I'm thinking if we have a specific time frame that we're looking for committee members and
Yeah.
stuff, you wanna have a date on there, so you know when, it's not indefinite, they're not gonna be on the
Yeah.
committee forever.
And like I said, I think we could add on to this too, like the link piece, but also, it'd be nice to have all the committees listed on there, so you could tell, like, you can click on it, tell something about each committee, what that committee's, charges and what they do and stuff like that, so people get interested, they can actually see what each committee does.
yeah, they may be interested in some, but not others, depending on the services provided.
I do like that. Very nice.
So as that, I'll second the motion.
All right, so we're gonna, Kathy will add the date and then, in your downtime, Kathy, if you could make a list of the committees and their charges. Or like a list of the committees and like Glenn said, have it linked to go to their chart, well, their page on the website, right?
Not all of them have, but
They don't all
Yeah,
have it,
but
okay.
but we can look into that too, because then,
that can be for a later date, but.
right, that's what you
Yeah.
kind of, good starting,
Yep, and then
Spot.
add.
it gives us a chance to expand on it too.
Yeah.
And I would
The
either say,
second page.
take the S off in board,
Yep,
or put an S on committee. So it's the same. So you have boards and committees, or board and committee.
Good catch. All right. Let's do board and committee. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So this is
To approve and sign the letter for open space plan.
correct. I will read it. Let me read it. On behalf of the Town of Granby Select Board, I am pleased to affirm that the Select Board voted to approve the 2025 Open Space and Recreation Plan as presented on January 22nd, 2025. The minutes documenting this respected approval are attached. We believe this plan is a result of the involvement excuse me, of several boards, departments, elected officials, and citizens of Granby. With the help and guidance of Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, it reflects devotion and commitment of the citizens of Granby to the town's preservation and protection of open spaces, respect for wildlife, natural resources, protection of our wildlife corridors, as well as for our citizens' future plans for potential growth within these spaces. This plan was prepared according to the guidelines that were issued by the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs and contains all requirements set forth. We look forward to your review of the plan and thank you for your time and attention. I will make a motion now that we already accepted it, right?
We accepted the plan, so now
Okay,
you
so
just,
I will make a motion that we accept the
letter of.
Division of Conservation, the letter of intent for the open space and recreation plan.
I'll,
I
s-
see
Is
it.
that good?
I'll second the motion.
We're gonna see if you can see it. And then it would be for me to sign it on behalf of the board as the chair.
Oh, there's only one.
And Jeremy did do the open
ADA.
ADA.
He did it for Brown Ellison and for Dufresne Park, right? He doesn't do the trails, the Bachelor Head trails or anything, right? Okay.
And I will make a motion that Crystal will approve and sign for us.
We made a motion to approve it,
And I second it.
so,
Oh, you did, okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, and then, but also now for me to sign it on the board's behalf, right?
Correct, to
I'll
sign on.
second that motion as well.
So any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
I just wanted to
Oh, yes.
with Crystal, your work on that.
Thank you. It's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, it's not easy.
You undertook it from the get-go, and there's a lot of work involved in it, so on behalf of myself, and I'm sure David, thanks
Yes,
for the work.
absolutely.
Excellent. Great, all in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
And we're not gonna, so just so the board knows, we're not going to send this to them until the minutes are complete with just that section of the minutes where we approve the open space. So we are waiting for our secretary to finish the minutes for that day.
All right.
So as soon as they're finished, that's when the letter will be sent.
Good.
All right, next on the agenda is to approve and sign the contract for DHS LLC.
I will make a motion to approve and sign the contract for DHS LLC dated February 5th, 2025.
That? I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I might have yours. I was gonna say I have two here.
Oh, we're gonna get it soon.
That's the one I did.
So just you, one signature.
Kathy, do you want all of us to sign the DHS agreement? Because it looks like it says print name and one signature. Or is this just for the chair?
Or you can authorize Kathy to sign on behalf of the town.
I'll sign it.
I will make a motion that Crystal, our chair, can sign on behalf of the town for the DHS LLC plan
Agreement. Yep.
agreement.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No
All in
discussion.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm just giggling at Kathy.
You know, she's like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not signing that.
All right, so we already got the forage pond updates. I did want to see if the board got a chance to look at what I started. I know when we met with the planning board and the conservation commission, I had voiced that I would put a document together for the town of Granby goals. So what I did is I created a document where everything is going to be put together once they send it to Kathy. But I also put together a document where it had the directions for the boards, committees, and notice plural, boards, committees, and departments, so that they could put their title, what their goals were, their action items, and what their status was, where they are in that goal. So I wanted you guys to take a look at the objectives and goals for the select board. I know over the last 3 years, Glenn, between me, you, and the other board member, Rick Boulier, and then with the addition of Dave, we've had quite a few. So I tried to encapsulate everything over the last 3 years that we've talked about or discussed. I'm not sure really what to put for action items on some of these, so that I would lean on the board for it. It doesn't have to be a discussion for tonight. We can go home, look at what we've done so far on it, figure out what we want to add for the action items, and then, you know, we can work on updating the status for it. But I was just trying to come up with a comprehensive plan. And I know Kathy, did you send Conservation Commission and Planning Board what I had for them so far, so they could review it at their next meeting?
Yeah.
So again, I was just taking notes as they were telling me what their goals were, and I was trying to encapsulate it in this document. So if the board has any ideas or anything else they want to add to this document.
I think the only thing I'd do with the electric pistol, that I would separate each item, because when you
Okay.
put actions next to it, it may not line up.
So yeah, so what I was thinking for the actions is putting like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
Thank you.
But, or you're just saying add a line across, right, and separate it by a line?
Just make that a box, so anything,
Okay.
update town website, so anything you've done, it would just stay in that, each box.
Okay.
With not, they may get,
Yeah. It's gonna get too hard to follow.
right,
Yeah, I do like that idea. I'm not sure if I can do it in the Word document. I might have to, put it into an Excel, but that's okay. We can do that. And Glenn, I know, you were, unable to attend right at 5:30, but just so you know, John Edwards did not come today, so Kathy's gonna reach out to him for our next
Okay.
meeting.
uh,
Right, so again, we don't have to do this tonight, but if you guys just want to take a look at it and see if there's anything you want to add, or any action items and so forth, I'll do my best to fill in what I can. Should I, Glenn, do you think, send this out with the lines here, or no, that's really just in our final document, right? Because this is gonna go out to the different boards, committees, and departments, and so they're gonna fill it out, and then what I can do is add the boxes in, or should I fill it out, or should I send it to them with the
I
boxes?
think we're better off designing it, that way when they get
Okay.
it, they can put in their information, they can put in the, you know, their actions that they took.
So Kathy, I'll see if I can figure out how to do that in Word. If I can't figure out how to do it in Word, I'll do it in Excel. Just because I already created it in Word. I should be able to add a line in between those, but I'll look into it. And unfortunately, I've got bad news for the board. There's no freshwater dredging going out this year for environmental. So I did reach out to Senator Oliveira's office. They're going to look into any kind of funding that they can give us for it. But as of right now, there's no grants that can help us. I know,
Well, it would be helpful to talk to our two reps as well.
yeah, so that's what I was
Mindy,
thinking, Mindy Dobb, and then the gentleman,
Omar Gomez.
yes.
Yeah.
With him
So,
the other day, very nice gentleman.
okay. So maybe we can reach out to them too. I'll email Mindy and Omar and see if we
Yeah.
can get some funding on that. And then Kathy, did the other board members get the Park and Rec Department old contract yet? I know you had handed it to me, the one that you found,
No, because I thought you were working with, Glenn on that.
Durham.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll reach out to him. Thank you for that reminder.
You're welcome.
All right, and then, stormwater regulations, we were gonna get David in here, the last meeting we had with Chris. Or
And he had sent them
Attorney O'Toole.
to town council, the stormwater, you, or sure talk to you? You don't,
I don't believe so on stormwater. I thought there was something else.
nope, yeah, so I saw him today and he said that he was gonna give you another week and then recall you.
Okay.
Okay,
He may have sent over, it may have been a couple of weeks ago, that there was no hurry on, and now maybe
Well, something to follow up on.
yes.
okay. And then the curbside collection for January, that's the RFP that you were gonna get together for us?
Which, yep,
So does that have to be a committee that does that, or does the board work on it as a whole? How does that usually work for the municipal waste?
You know, that might be a good question for,
Oh, the TA?
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't done one of those in a long time
I know.
because we've
It's been 6
extended.
years, right?
we've extended ours.
2017.
Yeah.
So we'll ask the interim. Okay. And then as far as the updates on the TA position, we are still we are under negotiations with our with the person that we appointed, Michael Durham, so those are the only updates I have for that right now. So does the board have anything else they want brought up at our next meeting? So remember, we have a Thursday meeting for the building commissioner interviews. And then on February 24th, we'll have a regular meeting. And then February 27th, we have our hearing for the gravel pit. So,
Sounded enough to me.
yeah.
It's a full boat.
And that week Kathy will not be here, so the interim TA will be here for those 2 meetings. And special town council, Adam Costa will be here on the 27th for us. So he'll physically be here instead of being online.
Great.
Good, good.
That's good.
So I think those were the only updates I had to give to the select board members. But if you have anything else you want to add,
Okay, I don't.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So we will now enter into executive session 30A-21-A-3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. Following that executive session,
And just on that exception there, the AG's office has said that a public body must identify the litigation matter to be discussed, unless it was felt that even identifying the matter would have a detrimental effect. I don't think it would in this case. One, it's a public suit that's been filed, Five Corners LLC versus the town of Granby in the land court in Boston. Although I do believe, and the chair has indicated such that discussing the litigation strategy in public would have a detrimental effect to the town's position.
correct. Thank you. And then following that executive session, we will go into another executive session, 30A-21-A-2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Do you want, and that is, do I have to state the person for that one? Okay. Right. And then we will only come out to adjourn the original meeting. Roll call vote, Dufresne, aye.
Labonte, aye?
Saxon, I.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.